I am indeed very sorry now again. Okay, I am indeed very sorry. It happened again. Now it's fixed. Now I can see that from my deck here that I have sound. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Grant Wood, Osanebi, David. David, thank you very much for letting me know that there is no sound. Obi Opurum, special one. Uh, all of you that have been telling me that there is no sound, thank you very much. There is now sound. Okay, so there is now sound. I believe that the sound is there now. So can you confirm that you've got the audio? Okay, thank you. So you can hear me now. So let me recap. It's quite funny when I start and I go through that and I read the comments, and some people say you don't have sound. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. But be that as it may, now you can hear me, and let me start again. So once more, I will say good evening, everyone. I remain one and your only Mazes. Okay. This evening, I want us to look at something very worrying, something happening as we speak. I have been in the last 2, 3 weeks, been engaging in so many Zoom conferences where the topic in the last 3 weeks has been about the Southern Kaduna. And these Zoom conferences, starting from the one I think Alhaji Umar Shinkafi Foundation, where the former governor of Taraba State, sorry, Zamfara State, ex-governor Yeri, made something and said something very instructive. And I'll probably find a clip of it and play to us so that we understand what is happening. So, in that conversation that you have high level northerners, and I was able to find myself in the midst. Technology these days, I wouldn't say I hacked in, but at least I was invited. I said nothing. There we had Dimeji Bunkle. I think it was streamed live on Njenje Media, so some of you can go back about 2 weeks ago and listen to that recording again. Now, in the last 2 weeks, equally, I've been joining so many calls. I've organized one myself with Yinko Dumakin, Obadiah Melafia, Jonathan Asake of the Southern Kaduna people, Ankyo Briggs, and Ibrahim Bono. These are people from, and I think one other guy, Binyat. These are people from Southern Kaduna. There is one decimal point. There is one reoccurring thing in those calls, in those conferences that I have joined. Now, joining it, when I report on the things that I have seen, it breaks my heart that my people in the south, that some of us are still sleeping. You know why I say that some of us are sleeping? I report something and I post it out of my own time. And you don't, I don't need you to give me kudos, right? But if you don't know what to say, just zip it, keep quiet. Someone actually started saying that Mazi, that I've been working for the people of Southern Kaduna. And there is an argument, an adult that is about 52 years, about 52 years, making an argument that you've been working for the people of Southern Kaduna. Why do you bother yourself with Southern Kaduna people? That Southern Kaduna, that they supported when they were killing us. And so freaking what if they did support when, if they had support before? No condition is permanent. Before, the southern and the middle belt supported the invasion of our land. That was before. But we must know that we must forge new alliances. And I was arguing with this quote unquote an adult, 52-year-old, and he told me, Mazi, you should stop it. You're just wasting your time. I'm like, listen, people, I will say this again. If you're watching me, pay attention. If you think what is happening in southern Kaduna doesn't concern you, you're very mistaken. The whole of southeast is barely the size of Benue State. And you want to, if you allow them to overrun Benue State, one state, and you think they cannot overrun you. If we are smart, if you have read the 48 laws of power, the best form of defense is to attack. The wisest thing you to do is to move away the battleground from your forte. You don't get the battleground to be in your backyard. Therefore, if others are being attacked, what you need to do is to give them reinforcement and support. Let that fight be fought elsewhere, not in your backyard. You don't need to. I mean, I hope some of us are getting what I'm saying. So, if there is anything we have to do for the southern Kaduna people, it is now. Because if you think you're going to go back to 1960, 1953, 1966, 67 and begin to bear the grudges of the things that happened then and want to use it to judge today's realities, you're very mistaken. That's why we must do everything within our powers, especially those of you in the diaspora. You have to alert whoever that is alertable, because if the southern Kaduna and the middle belt are overrun, you have no protection. I'll give us a pointer here. Remember during the lockdown, we had a lockdown. The whole nation was on lockdown. And the people were seen in trucks in Anambra, in Enugu. Even we saw Wike, even the governor Ayade in Cross River. We saw Wike at the border between Abia and the rivers, intercepting them. Now, if we are a thinking people, shouldn't we know that that was a test run? In the sense that if someone was able to beat the securities from the northwest and the northeast down to Boko, down to Benue, down to Uborafo, and undetected, down to Enugu, undetected, used Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway down to Okigwe, undetected, from Okigwe down to Umuahia, not Isigate, Tower, undetected, down to Aba, undetected. Now, if the individual was then stopped at the boundaries between Abia states and the river states, and you see what is happening. That is time we get smart. That is time. Anyway, that is time we get smart. So I think for YouTube algorithm here, for those of you who are really interested on this topic watching me now, please can you give me a thumbs up? I just remembered it now because someone gave me a thumbs down, but it doesn't matter. But please give me give the video a like, hit the like button, let the algorithm change so that more people would apparently watch this video. Now, coming to what I was saying, I had Obadiah in my that was last weekend, a week yesterday. Okay, I had Obadiah in my conference, and this is the conference here. So let me actually see if I can pull up my um, you know obviously the conference is also here, but at least for the sake of some of us who do not understand. Oh, thank you all very much for the like. I mean, and exactly so, one bad like, then so many good likes. Thank you very much. Smash the hit button. Thank you very much. Thank you all, everyone. So let me get this here, please, guys, so that we make an informed conversation here. So this is, let me see, is that the poster? Where is my poster? Okay, in Southern Kaduna, every day we wake up, all we see is that people, X number of Z, number of people are killed. My phone, because of the engagement with the Southern Kaduna, so now I'm being in forums where every day I woke up, Every day I woke up, I see pictures. I can't even share these pictures for the, you know, for the benefit and for those who have lost these lives, because these pictures are gruesome. If I share them on YouTube here, YouTube will flag my video. Then that's, it defeats the whole essence. The whole essence is to pass information to my people. Now, and if I cannot pass this information based on, for the fact that I shared some pictures that, that are not, what they call, community friendly. So now here, people pay attention here. Thank you everyone. Thank you for the like button. Smash the like button. So let me show us this. So this was the one I did here, I shared here. So you can see I have Ankyo bricks, I have the Don Pedro Baseke Yinko Dumaki Connor Young. So some of you who know Connor Young was one of those, Google his name, one of those Connell, when things were going, weren't going right, they were those that staged the coup because they thought this nation does not work. And he remains vibrant to today. And I had a Professor Femi Olufimiladin and Obadiah here. I am driving to something. So these are efforts that, you know, it's out of my time, my resources. I want to do this. The reason is because I do believe that if we are able to help the people of Southern Kaduna, we will be helping ourselves. If we stop the fight, if we are able to, let that commotions not come near us. Many people, many people don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if you ever used the, I've flown into Yola by air. You cannot compare the same when you fly by air and you're landing in Enugu. The terrain is not same. Or if you're landing in Port Harcourt. In Yola, for instance, you see scanty buildings. Now, imagine if ever had an aerial view, and I think I might do that today because I was playing out also with something, a conversation I wanted to have with us. I was playing around with it, where I wanted us to look at when people say that the Igbo nation is landlocked. I mean, I was able to use um, Google Earth to show that Igbos are not landlocked because I was able to navigate that and show where the water is via Azumiri. But that's a conversation for another day. So coming back to what I was saying before, if we talk about the Southern Kaduna, and I think this is what is going to, is going on, that the Southern Kaduna is under invasion, then we, the Southerners, must wake up. And in waking up in Southern Nigeria, especially the Southeast, where I think we now have to issue ultimatum. We cannot, nothing is happening now. Nothing is happening now. Don't get me wrong. Some of, it's not as bad as Southern Kaduna or elsewhere in Nigeria. I mean, the Igbo nation remains the most peaceful part of Nigeria as we speak. We saw the United States and England issue travel warning to their staff saying, do not, they don't encourage UK citizens and American citizens to go to the northeast or to the south, specifically northeast and south. However, no country or no region on earth is free of criminality. What I think happens in our place as of now is pure criminality that can be dealt with. But we can even deal with that more or even better if we are able to get a security outfit. I'll come to that. You know what it means, security outfit, where, like the Anambra State model, that could be improved. You and I, everyone must get involved. But sadly, I have tried engaging privately the southeastern governors, because I said to us, not everything that we must spill out in the open. But sadly, as I can tell you now, the states within the southeast, only Abia State I can report to us is actively deliberating on the Southeast Vigilante, or rather the Abia State Vigilante Services. Anambra State has already passed that into law. Enugu State has one already. um, by the virtue of the forest guard and the accompanying law that established that forest guard. Now, we only need two more states, Ebony State and Imo State. If you're watching me now and you're from Ebony State and Imo State, please, 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 I beg of you, one thing you can do, because it is always easy for all of us to come online and shout, wow, 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 wow. No. Get the names of your reps, state assemblies, send them message, send them emails, send them inboxes. This is not the time to play politics. This is the time they must pass that law, and that law must also accompanied by banning open grazing. Cows have nothing to do on the streets. If you want to move a cow from Okigwe to Ebonyi, those cows must be in trucks. If you want to move a cow from Imo State down to Ekulabia, those cows must be in trucks. So this nonsense of moving cows and destroying people's farmland, in the Igbo nation, we are the smallest in Nigeria, right? Landmass wise. We're not even of the size of, Niger State. Now, in as much as we are small, and we are the ones that build, because every male child is expected to build, then we are almost building up everywhere, with the exception of some areas in Abia State, towards Uturu, and some areas in Enugu and Ebonyi. We don't have anything. We no longer have any forest. We barely have forests now that you can even find the grass cutters cheap. That is to tell you how far we have encroached in our forest. And many of us cut down trees, we don't actually plant more. Therefore, get your reps, harass them. When I say harass, genuine, democratic harassment. Send them messages on Facebook, harass them by Twitter, because what I have done so far is my organization, I'm the president of Igbo Ekune Initiative, so we are actually, as it stands on this, we will be issuing a press release and we will be writing the Southeastern governors, because it is time that we need to smack them or knock them a little bit for them to wake up to their responsibilities, because this is happening. The reason and the backbone of this conversation this evening is a video that Obadiah, um, um, Dr. Obadiah Melafia, a video he did this morning with Nigeria Info FM in Port Harcourt. He was on a call this morning. I posted it on this channel today. But for the benefit of those who may not understand that and who may not have watched it, let me once more play what he said, because if we understand, if we understand what he said and the implication of it, then we should be wary of what is going to happen. So let me play this quickly. Hold on. Okay. So this is Melafia Obadiah. For some of you who don't know him, he was, well, basically, it's Dr. Melafia Obadiah. He was former Deputy Governor CBN. So he's not one of those given to flippant talks. There are people we know in this country, when they talk, we must listen because they have something to say. He doesn't talk anyhow, haven't engaged him. But when he said this, broke every alarm bell. When people tell you they have intel, yes, they do have intel. Now listen to him here.
Which is it for you, Doctor? But
what's happening?
Which is Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
I'll try again. Hold on, people. I know you might hear it, but I need to hear it to also. Okay, let me try that again. Once more.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make suggestions to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. It's part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration.
Now, what Obadiah is saying here is, I will take this bit by bit. Please pay attention and stay with me. I beg of you, because you would understand the implication of this video. Please, I beg you, pay attention and stay with me. Obadiah is saying here that the body language of this administration doesn't seem to be one that is willing to stop this deleting. I know YouTube have some algorithms. I don't want them to flag this video. Honestly, I'm struggling here not to use some words that will lead to them flagging this video. Now, the federal government is not interested. To the point that he even made an allegation that helicopters, do you know what it means? That helicopters will come and drop ammunition for deleting people. Let's listen.
The body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelation.
Before he gets into the bigger bomb that he threw, before he gets into that bigger issue, he alluded to General Sani Abacha. Remember, General Sani Abacha was the head of state that said, if a bomb drops in a place and an insurrection happens in a place 24 hours later and the state does not get control of it, that means the state is involved. Are you getting where he's alluding to? Because to tell me that in the last 2 weeks, as if I have met people I don't know before. There was one of them, a U.S. reporter, Doug Button. Doug Button said something that one of the bandits were captured in Southern Kaduna by the people of Southern Kaduna, and they found a telephone number recently dialed. The way you dial your call log, and they dialed that number. It was a colonel in the Nigerian army. It's on my YouTube channel, not me. Don't just go to this channel. You will see it there. Button made this revelation last week. And when they called, the colonel picked up and they researched it. They published the report. Now, he left back to America. The sad part is, but because the journalists that we have in Nigeria have turned themselves into government brown envelope journalists, that's why they no longer talk about the things we can talk about, people like me talk about in this channel, because, hey, you can pay me, you're not paying me. So I'm here for my people to analyze and synthesize data for my people to understand what is actually happening. I deal with facts, not emotions. Now, let me get back to Obadiah here.
Because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented.
Now, again, for some of you, because you need to know someone with credibility. If someone is telling you, this guy, I know what, and I know to get him to attend my conference, I know how, and I know who actually eventually got him, because he's very, very, very close with this individual, and to eventually to attend. Now, when he says something like this, because it's not given to talking anyhow, you won't see him, you cannot Google his name, Meilafia Obadiah. You cannot see him make careless allegations. But if he does, the nation must pay attention. I wouldn't be surprised by the virtue of what he said this morning in Port Harcourt that tomorrow you hear that DSS is looking for him, that he signed a contract when he worked under Sanusi. You see, that is the way the nation works. Why many of us will never, probably never ever work in the government is because of this, because nothing you got nothing on me. There is nothing. Therefore, you have nothing to dig. And that's why we can always come on air and say it the way it is, avoiding propaganda, because propaganda over time, I keep telling my friends and colleagues, propaganda over time destroys whatever you stand for. Now, let's continue.
Down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria.
Did you hear that? One of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. If time permits, I will play the video of Yari, where Yari said similar thing. Yari, a sitting governor of Zamfara state, said it, and I broadcasted it here live. He said, I had intel that they were going to attack my state. I went to the high command of the security echelon in Nigeria, and I quote him. He said, I, Governor Yari, a sitting governor elected to govern Zamfara state, went and gave them the intel information. They did nothing. Yet, those people came into Zamfara state, killed his people, killed his people, and they are, I don't know, these people came in, killed his own people as if nothing happened. Then you wonder what is going on. What is going on, people? That a sitting governor who has intel will give this intel out to the security agents, and the security agent will do absolute nothing. Cast your mind back. I'll come back to Obadiah, but let's analyze this further. Cast your mind back when Uzuwan in Enugu was attacked in 2016. The citizens of Uzuwan and some local people, security people, had intel, gave it to the Nigerian police. Nigerian police apparently are aware that this is going to happen, and nothing happened. They went, they did nothing. Uzuwani was attacked. Lives were lost. What did the governor of Enugu State do? That is one of those sore areas I personally have with him. When your state was attacked, if I am the governor of that state, damn Abuja, I will not set my foot in Abuja. That's what I believe makes a man. There are times you need to make a statement, just like Autumn of Benue State once did. When his people was attacked, people went to Abuja, and he said he's not going to go to Abuja for what? It is Abuja that will come to his state and look at the things that was done. His people was killed, and the people was, you're supposed to come and pay homage. You're supposed to come and pay and say that these people were killed, and because they were killed, something has to be done. Not the way you just basically, say that it doesn't matter. And on that note, what happened in the case of Enugu State? Till today, nothing has happened. Who are those that were behind it? We don't know. So let me bring Melafi Budai again. So let him continue. Sorry.
Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. Exactly. During this lockdown, they are moving up and down as though they are down. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, distributing them in different parts of the country. They are already in the south, in the rain.
Did you hear that? They are already in the south. Where in the south? He said, in the rainforest. They are already in the south. This is the cruise of my conversation this evening. I play that again. I rewind a little bit. In this lockdown, he said they were moving ammunitions, they were moving logistics, they were using helicopters. For Christ's sake, helicopter is not a drone. Are we living in a failed state? Helicopter is not a drone that it can fly, you wouldn't hear the sound and you wouldn't hear anything. But in this case, here we are, you are being told that they are moving with helicopters. Obadiah, please continue.
Moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest.
Please give the video a like, please.
They told me that when they finish this rural killing, they will move to phase 2.
Did you actually capture what he said now? I don't know if you watching me actually heard what he said. When they finish this phase of deleting people within the rural areas, again, aka people within the southern and middle belts, aka people within Zamfara, those areas that you hear every single day that 50, 20, 30 people died. And the government that ought to be in charge appear to be a government of a prepared speech. We will deal with. We are going to, I call it a government of future tense. We will deal with. We will capture. We will this. We will. Future. Future impossible tense. That's what I call a government of future impossible tense. That we will do this. And it keeps happening. And that's the tragedy. I don't know if any one of you are actually seeing this, that someone is saying this we will do, and it repeats itself. The same way an inspector general of police, Mr. Transmission was sent to Benue. The man buggered off and went to Nasarawa State. And reporters, when the commander-in-chief was asked, he said, well, I sent him to Benue. I didn't know he went to Nasarawa State. And you think that was a joke? No, people wake up. It's not a joke. That is your CNC. And someone asked me, Maz, if you are the president, what would you do? I tell you, my brother, fire the man on the spot for disobeying my order. If I'm innocent, if I'm not part of the conspiracy, I'll fire him on the spot. I don't wait for tomorrow. Because if we value life, and that's what is the end thing, that we do not, certain people here appear not to value life. Lives of individuals. You watching me now, especially those of you in the diaspora, imagine any of your kids harm before them because of that place called Nigeria. This morning in the forum, we were arguing about if Nigeria was a failed state or getting to a failed state. Well, maybe if there are categories of failed state, it's not in the A plus failed state, but it's getting close to the A. Some states are in B. Some states in Nigeria, actually, if you want to break it down by state or region, some regions, at least 2 regions in Nigeria, are in the A already. They are full-grown 98% failed state. If people in Zamfara cannot go to sleep, today, someone was equally telling me of the killings in other clashes in Taraba State. I mean, it's just like everywhere you look, just human life amounts to nothing. Obadiah, I'll bring you to my... hold on, I'll bring you back to the other side. Let's see. I'll bring you to this side. Okay, yeah. So let me play this again for benefit of those of you who appear not to have understood. Let me rewind a little bit. Okay. So I think it lacks a little bit. Let me play. Make sure it's loud enough for you to understand. Okay,
distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will...
Oh dear. They told them that when they finish, you see, let me make him bold. Let me just, let him occupy the screen so that we can get a better grip of this. Okay. Let me see this here. Let me let him play once more.
Different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
So you had that. By 2022, they want to start a civil. In Igbo, we say otu ọhụ n'ọgọdọ eke ntị. In my local dialect, that's what we say. Otu ọhụ n'ọgọdọ kelu nsị. Otu ọhụ n'ọgọdọ kelu nsị. What else do you need? Now, people, I have messages for you and I, the middle class, the elite, the masses. This is not a time for any sectional group to think it's something they will deal alone. Security is best when you can protect yourself. It is time we need to segment and at the same time aggregate our strengths in order to withstand what is about to happen. When I say South, I refer to the collective South that includes the Southeast, South-South, and the Southwest. Pay attention. The time to come together is now, not tomorrow. If something is cooking for 2022, something is cooking, the time to get that, to deal with it, is now. Look at it this way. There is strength in numbers. While I agree why the Southeast must do something to protect themselves, while the Southwest must do something, and they are doing something in form of a motekun to protect themselves, the Southeast must speed action to make sure that the open grazing law is, because you see, we need to be smart and be ahead of time. Cows do not need to move on the streets. It should be any cow you see on the street, people should have the right to use it and make pepper soup. If you see my own cow on the street, use it and make pepper soup. We have people rearing pigs, chickens. You don't see them on the street. We have people rearing sheep. We have people rearing efibo. You don't see them move on the street. You don't see them go into farmlands, destroying farms. Is it too much to ask that let your livestock not destroy my own livelihood? That's why I keep saying it. Sorry if it's boring to you, but I'll say it and I'll say it and I'll say it multiple times. That for me, the concept of farmer headers clashes is nothing but arrant nonsense because it doesn't exist. What you have is headers, invasion of farmland, because farmers have fixed assets. It doesn't move. They have immovable assets. If this place is your plot of land, you're planting maize and yam, it doesn't move. For anything to destroy that, that means that must be an external body that is coming to invade. Is it simple? Is it too hard to comprehend? People, we will go on. I don't know. I think if someone obviously people are, why do you people keep giving me thumbs up, thumbs down? Sorry, like the video. Let's continue. Let's continue. And if I would open the line very soon. So if you want to make your contribution, you can. I will give you the opportunity, please, but do not exceed 2-3 minutes. So you can make your point if you ask questions. So, but um, what we are going to do, one, what you and I can do, what you and I, our powers, what is within our powers to do is one thing. Especially, I'm calling out on reps from Imo State, reps from Ebony State. If you're listening to me from Imo State and if you're listening to me from Ebony State, please make sure you contact your local reps, the one representing you in Ebony State House of Assembly and Imo State House of Assembly. They must debate this. They must pass this law into. They must pass this bill into law, banning open grazing, and the law to establish the Imo State Vigilante Service, Ebony State Vigilante Service, and Abia State. I will be letting Abia State off for now because Abia State is debating it. But for me, is debate is gone too far. You started the debate earlier this year. Is going too far. If this debate was to be on how you buy Prado Jeep, I know it wouldn't take you 2 sittings. You will finish it. We saw when the Southwest, when the Yoruba nation came together to discuss Amotekun, within a space of 2 months, Amotekun was done and dusted. What we can be discussing now is the effectiveness of Amotekun, but then again, it's in everything. The taste of the pudding is in the eating. So we must first of all make sure that these things, that you have the legal backing. It's only the legal backing, once done by the state, that will give you the impetus and the powers to make sure that you enforce this. Why is it that no matter hate Benue State or like Benue State, since Benue stood their ground on the open grazing, suddenly Benue, you coming from the far north, you must have to cross Benue with truck, because if Benue catches you with going with the cows, sorry will be your name. And that is the way things are done. So it is time we engage our brain than we engage our fingers. It is time we'll begin to, you know, there. Some of us are really funny. Special one said, sorry, let me. This is very funny. Special ones, Fulanis are giving thumbs down. So okay, so let's show that we are more in number. Let's give thumbs up. These Fulanese are giving thumbs down. Let's give thumbs up, please. Okay, so people, what we need to do. There are things we can force the governors to do, and as I'm saying, this week within my organizations, we will be engaging the Southeast governors, reminding them of the impending dangers and the need to do these critical things. Two critical things. One, pass the anti-open grazing law. Second, and pass the state vigilante laws. It's only when we have passed these vigilante laws in states, as I said, you have Anambra already done. Anambra is only one safe and secure than the Enugu. We have Anambra, Enugu. Then when we have Abia, Imo, and Ebonyi, then you can talk about now having that regional alliance. We can now talk about a joint patrol. We can talk about Anambra and the Enugu patrolling Amansi. We can talk about Abia and Ebonyi patrolling the between Uturu and the Ifo or Ikwo, as the case may be. You can talk about Abia and the Enugu joint patrolling the areas that crosses Abia and the Enugu. You talk about Imo and Anambra patrolling between Oga and Akokwa. Do you understand? So we got to be smart, people. We talk about Imo and Anambra patrolling between Ihiala, down to Imo State. The forests there need to be combed. But there must be legal backing for these things to happen. I mean, I don't want to get angry. Let me just keep it cool, people. But these are things that you and I, because it is very easy to blame every other person except ourselves. It happens everywhere. Government As long as you and I don't push the government, even if in England, in America, that's why I see people protesting. If the people didn't protest when George Floyd was, I can't breathe case, if the people didn't protest, the police has already gone home sleeping in their houses. But because people protested, people showed their anger. You see, suddenly the state start acting. Okay, can we now do this, do the other one? So the same way you and I can do passive protest. And the way we can do our passive protest is now to have our targeted protest, because I'm not encouraging anyone to come on the street, because we have a bunch of people in form of policemen who don't know who their oppressors are. There are a bunch of people who basically see you demanding a better life for them, for their children, for their mothers, for their fathers, as their enemy. That is the catastrophe that we have these days. On that note, you have seen it and you have heard it. You have heard from Melafair Obadiah. The reason why I said I like to quote credible sources. He's one of the most credible person I have heard with the American. Let me see if I can find that, because if I can find on my on this YouTube channel quickly, if I can find the one of the Taraba states. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can quickly find the Zamfara state governor. For some of you who probably may not have seen it, but it doesn't matter if you haven't, you can go back here. Let me see the title of that video. That video was titled Fulani Invite Foreigners and Pay Them with Cows to Kill Us. That is the title here. Let me see if I can play it for us quickly. Hold on. My internet. Come on, come on. Time is of essence. Come on. Okay, so we get there.
Good stop for ransom. So what we're just hearing the kidnapping somewhere in Kaduna, around Nasarawa area and Niger.
Okay.
But 2014 August, that is where we have started experiencing kidnapping in Zapata State.
Sorry.
And Dambazo was also there in 2015 when we were narrating.
Sorry, and in that meeting we had equally Dambanzo actually, for some. So let me quickly play that again so that we understand what is at stake here, people. See
issues, and he contributed and said likely lack of cows available and the way to sell them to the market. So now they resort to go back to kidnapping human and ask for ransom. I think it's more they get more value there. So when actually I understand like problem planning houses where you look at it. Obama's and headless.
I think what I would advise us to do. Let me stop this video. What I would advise us to do, please, if you don't mind, I can share this video again in the community area, or you can type in the full the full video here is Fulani invite foreigners and pay with cows and cash to kill us. That is the title of that video. So I would encourage you to go and watch the full. It's about 15 minutes, but it's mind blowing. And as he was saying this, you had Dambazo, who was a former head of security chiefs, and you had the ex-governor, the current governor of Zamfara State. You have them there. So he wasn't he wasn't talking, or he wasn't hiding. So he's talking from someone who has had the experience. Now, and someone is asking solutions. So solutions, as I said, solution is very simple. We have to be smart about it. We have to push our reps to pass these bills into law. And there are two bills. If you're just joining now, if you don't know the two bills I'm talking about, one is the bill that prohibits open grazing anywhere in the Southeast. And for my brothers and sisters as well, even within the South, it appears The South, there was a time they voted the concept of having the regional security outfit, and it died down again. Please let political parties not divide you. You must as well. The South, you are not immune. You must as well, because we see what happens in Delta State. We see what happens in Obanam. So don't think we see what happens in Obiaruku. We see what happens even in Edo State. So don't think that you're immune. I think it is time that by the time the Southeast and the South are able to do this, that means, if need be, by 2021, in preparation to the showdown that they've already told you that is going to happen in 2022, if need be, but God's willing, if we are still alive by then, we will begin to talk about how to have a Southern collaboration, not only interstate, but it can be inter-region as well. What says that the people of Edo cannot have a collaboration security outfit with the people of Ogun State? What says that Abia State, Imo State, that borders River State, cannot have a security arrangement? And what says that Abia State cannot have security collaboration with Cross River State? I mean, we should be thinking ahead of time. And some of you who know, some of you, at the meantime, I would encourage you, as I do, to ring your people home, call us at home. If you have anything to give, especially many of us in Anambra State, in your own local areas, we obviously they have walking sticks. If you're able to buy granules for them, fine, because all these things, they do a job, and this job must continue, and the walking sticks and granules are needed for that work to be done. So again, thank you, Charlene Chukura, who made that comment. We need more mboro and granules now. So, and that's what it is, because you need to get ready and defend yourself, people. So I'll open the line now. If you wish to make contribution to this evening discussion, I would open the line now for you to make that call. So this is the number on the screen. This is the number on the screen. I think if it's too fast for you, what I can do, I can make it stay one place. Okay. So so some of you who watching me now, who contacted me regarding my opinion on what is happening, that some Igbo traditional leaders were rejected in Abuja by Buhari, and the video trending where Ateze gave them money and they were sharing it. Sadly, some of the Igwes, at least about 6 of them, I know them, and sadly, um, you know, but as we say in Igbo, Ndukako, in as much as I am outraged by the videos that I have seen this evening, I think the issue of security is more paramount than my anger with the traditional rulers and my anger with um, Ateza, as the case may be. So, on that note, as the case is now, if you have any contribution to make towards this conversation this evening, you are free to make this call, and let's hear your opinion. And I have here, let me take some of your comments while we wait for you to make some contributions. Um, Ray Power says, Maz, yes, okay. If you read out my comments, the zoo is already ruined. It's already too late to act, but we must act. Well, I don't think it's already too late. These are intels, and we should be working with intels. If we do the things we ought to do now, believe you me, if these two things that I've said are done, and they are done timely, there is still time to salvage some of these things. There is still time to salvage it. Okay? So this is not the time to trade any blame game. Join my organization. You don't join my organization. You're doing this, you're not doing this. No. It is time to think as collective. This is no time to think, oh, I don't trust the Yorubas, I don't trust. No, 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 people. It is time to think as a collective, because what is heading to us is one thing collectivity will do for us. Okay. So on that note, I would take one. Oh, so many comments I haven't actually looked, but let me now go back and see if I can take some of the comments. The South are still concerned with. Let me take this one. I don't know who that's. Nilade. Nilade says that the South are still concerned with stupid things like Big Brother. Oh, tell me about that. But again, you see, uh, Goodman Gabriel says virtual hug. Thank you very much. Uh, and the Nilade, the South are still concerned with stupid thing. I can't agree with you more. I don't even know how Onyuniana Boko or not joking. You heard that a Reverend Father caught fire, and all you're busy asking if the bed also caught fire just when a Reverend Father has the type of bed. If I caught fire, now that means this is very highly inflammable. Eh? Even when it take, because even it's only the oil that you put here makes it more inflammable. So it will be one of those things that will catch fire. So you see, that's what I mean. So and Grant Wood said just the youth, most of them are Westerners, especially Igbo kids, lost generation. I don't know if that generalization is entirely correct, but again, I leave you to your opinion. A single tribe that is not, that's from Uche Presley, a single tribe that is not from Nigeria originally is destroying us, and we are cowardly accepting it. I think they are beginning to hurt themselves because, thanks to Buhari's presidency, actually, you know, never would you ever think that you might have that kind of southern unity, but you apparently you see that level of southern unity happening now because of the way the whole place is being governed. Okay, BKK, bros, you only place you did nice work inside of Enugu Airport. I must thank you for that. Well, um, apart from that, you still behave like like political. Or okay, before you say I misread it, I thought I would say I would want to believe you want to say I behave like a politician. Now, my dear, one thing you have to know is in engagement, especially when you engage with those that have the will to the power within your region, there is one thing you must know. As Iloma Kejuneji Aganogu, there are things you can't just say because you have the ability to say. There are things you know. Ndị okenye sịkwa na okenye anya ka okenye ji enu ife dị n'ala. There are things you basically say, and there are things ị ga-asụ n'ude wee kwue, you know. And many of you don't know what happens outside online because when we, you just for one thing for community guidelines and for when you want to engage more. If I'll give an example, since I started the campaign on Enugu International Airport, I mean, obviously, contacts been reaching out, stop, do this, stop, but I didn't stop. But I have equally made sure in my moments of anger and disappointment that I have never insulted at anyone because I stuck with facts. Therefore, if you think that I'm sticking to facts makes me be more like a politician, sorry, I can't help you. I cannot enter gutter and begin to use some certain languages because you want me, then you're free to go ahead and use that on your own space, but not on my own space. Thank you very much for that. So I have Grant Wood again. Well, he's basically repeating the first thing he said before. I have Uche Presley once more saying, that's why we must see them as threat and fight them back, even with their resources. So I think, again, what we are not is that we are not an aggressive people, but it is a natural law that self defense is a natural law, and we have every single right to defend ourselves. We are not attacking anyone. We are, and we do not have the intention to go and invade and take anybody's land or destroy anybody's. We are a people that build. Everywhere we go, we build. We don't destroy. We don't come to your community and move to the bush. We come to your community and add value. We build houses. We rent those houses to people. We rent houses from you. That means we create value. We pay So we don't just come in, take. And rather than to give, we go into the bushes. No, that's not our lifestyle. And if it's if it's a lifestyle and a culture of certain people, sadly, it does not tally with ours. So what is going to happen is it's either you obey the rules and regulations that guides our own society, or sadly bugger off. That means it's not going to work. Okay. So on that note, um, Lord Day, okay, says now people have woken up. Let me read that again. Now people have woken up to the reality, but until Fulani commences their major killing in the south, that they will wake up. That they will wake up. Okay. Ikoyi Nancy said the unity will first the unity will first start from home before going to the other southwest. Start building the unity. You must start from somewhere. Exactly. I think the unity already, there is no question. If you talk about the southeast, there is no question about the unity. But one thing we must do beyond building that unity is that we must, you and I watching me now, must begin to hold our leaders to account. Anything we do without holding them to account, we are not being sincere, because there is what they will do and there is something you and I can do. While that is happening, if you have contribution that you want to, do by your voice and you want to make that contribution, I'm still waiting for your calls to come in. So the number is on screen. That is WhatsApp only. Once that happens, let's hear your contribution. But I think these are the things I have contributed are my thoughts. Backed them up with these things that are happening. And some of you asking me about the Enugu International Airport. I know this video is not for Enugu International Airport, but again, for the benefit of that I haven't done a video, special video on that, but I did post what we received. We went to the Enugu International Airport last week, and the things I saw, or rather the things we saw at that airport, wasn't encouraging. Obviously, some of you have disagreed and saying that the federal government could fix those things in the next couple of days. But like it or not, my campaign for that Enugu International Airport is still ongoing. I have done that campaign. Today marks how many days I've done that campaign? 356. No, 346 days, I think. I think I've done that. Sorry, let me check my countdown again. I think I've done that campaign for about 346 days. And beside that, we have about 19 days to go, 19 days to the reopening of that Enugu International Airport. And I'm going to play this for you now, just for the person who asked, and that will be for the benefit of everyone, that this is how the Enugu International Airport, and this is my campaign, this is how it is as of today. So for the benefit of that, 19 days Enugu Airport status as of today. So you tell me, pay attention to the left. This is as of today. This is the way it looks. Enugu International Airport, right? Now a video is going to play in between. Just pay attention on that screen that has that picture. It's going to move now. Right now, let's go. 1, 2, go. You see? So now the argument I have with people is that when they look at this, they tell me, Maz, it doesn't matter. These things are, semantics. These things can be corrected in 1 or 2 days, but this is arrant nonsense. I mean, if you had 346 days and yet the front looks like this, I understand on Saturday they have started doing the airfield lightning, but hey, I understand that is happening. Airfield lightning is started. So, and so what? That is the thing that sometimes I don't get. These are things that sometimes get me kind of worked up, because yes, the work is starting at the airfield lightning. And for the benefit of those, actually, let me go back now that I have brought up the Enugu airport again. I'll use, as we say, Ijofo Akobabo Nononabo. Let me use the opportunity to actually show the Enugu International Airport now. So this is the Enugu International Airport. and I will do this. So what you're looking at here, there, this is exclusive video of photos from Njenje Media TV that was there last week. Okay, and they don't want anyone to share this video. This is Enugu International Airport entrance. Forget the propaganda people tell you online, the lies that they tell you online, that Enugu International Airport is fantastically done, showing you videos that are definitely Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. That is not correct. This is the real Enugu International Airport taken last week. Okay? So, and the second picture is the same. This is the Enugu International Airport. I mean, this is the entrance, because if you look, let me see if I can zoom it. If you look here, you can see the new terminal. Let me see. Yeah, it might be blurred, but if you look, yeah, you can see there, that is at the back of that palm tree, is that new terminal. So what you can see here is men basically walking, and on your right hand side, you will see the um, what's it called? The cargo section. I think it's called the cargo section. So, I mean, obviously, the Enugu International Airport had water channel issues. There is no doubt they are fixing it. But my argument is, for Christ's sake, you could not have fixed it. Abuja International Airport, that was longer, that was wider, was done in 40 days. But here you are, Enugu International Airport, the gateway to the eastern region, to the southeast region, the gateway, the only gateway, international gateway for the Igbo nation. You have closed it down for the 346 days. Um, Sorry, do not call me now. I want to do this. Sorry. So whoever is calling, please do not call me now. I'm using the same phone that you will call me on to show the slides. Please do not call me, please. I beg of you. Okay. So let's see this now. This is a video. Okay. Let me play this video. So you can see this video now. This is a video of what is the status of the Enugu International Airport. So people, you be the judge. You be the judge. You see the oh, I don't know. Yeah. So this is in front there. That was the same video you saw before. Enugu International Airport. So when they tell you that they've done wonders, tell them that categorically Maazes, okay, the tormentor of bad governance in the southeast, is saying is not so. This is the Enugu. So tell me, whoever couldn't fix this in 346 days, how can that same person fix this in 19 days? Because obviously that's what it is. They have been unable to fix this in the last 346 days. So tell me how on God's name the person would fix this in 19 days. Tomorrow being Tuesday is going to be 18 days to go. Basically less than today is 2 weeks, 5 days. So it's less than 3 weeks to reopen the Enugu International Airport, and they barely started fixing the airfield lighting on Saturday. Okay? And this is a clinic that they are building. I mean, honestly, we are jokes. We are jokes of a nation. And this is still the Enugu International Airport. You see, the gutter, I must say, the gutter is nice that they do it, because bear in mind, Enugu Airport floods when it rains. But having said that, you could have done this. Honestly, if we are a serious people, there is no reason this cannot be done in 30 days, maximum 60 days. But after 346 days, we are still here of shutting down an airport. We are still here, arguing if this. I mean, these are the pictures. These are the pictures. Now you are looking at the picture of a clinic. After this picture, now you can see. You see. So if you ever been to Enugu International Airport, if you're driving in, after where you pay what's it called? The toll gate, where you pay tolls. I think, to drive in. If you're driving in, this is towards the car park. Now here, let me try to zoom this picture. You can see when you zoom this picture, on your left here is the international, well, basically the current terminal. Bear in mind, the old terminal, no work is going on there. Oh, sorry, this is the old terminal. The new terminal, no work is going on there. So anyone telling you, sharing pictures that they finished those terminal building is telling you big fat lie. Tell the individual, tell whoever, if it's a government, because all this campaign that I do, I make sure that even the Minister of Aviation gets all this information every day on Twitter and on his WhatsApp message. So, and that's why when someone said I talk like a politician, see, there is a reason why I don't insult. I wouldn't insult him, but I would use fact to disgrace him. Tell him that I don't like this. I mean, there is no gainsaying. I can say I don't like what I'm seeing here without being insulted, and exactly that is it. So you can't hold me for that, but that is it. Look at in modern time, in 21st century, we are still constructing an open gutter, open gully, open water channel in 21st century in an airport. Aren't we jokers? Aren't we jokers, people? So that's it. Okay, this is the runway. So for some of you, this is the runway. Um, the runway was done. If you count the asphalt, we have one. You see the first one that is run down here. You have one, two, three. So three layers on top. Three layers we have at the runway. That's cool. So my approach to this will be: I doubt if they can open these airports in 19 days. For those of you asking what my opinion, my candid opinion, having reviewed all these documents, is that I doubt if they would open this airport in 19 days. Now, there is a caveat. If they go ahead and open these airports in 19 days, this airport, that one you can take to the bank, and I'm willing to bet 2 keg of palm wine with anyone willing to do that. That means we will be commissioning on the 30th of August an incomplete airport. I am willing to bet that. If this airport reopens on the 19th, sorry, on the 20th, on the 30th, we will be reopening an incomplete airport. You can take that to the bank. This is the runway. The runway is done, there is no doubt, but there is no airfield lightning. And this airfield lightning is what, this is the runway here. Airfield lightning is what, guides pilot with the help of what's it called, the ILS. Is it ILS? Instrument landing system. ILS, yes, instrument landing system. Those are the two things that guides a pilot. That to get traction of what is going. But there is, I couldn't tell us now as of today. They are beginning to move into install the airfield lightnings. So for those asking question if there is going to be night landing, yes, there. There, I don't want. I don't want to sound like government. Let me not say something that people will say Mazi said. I'm being very careful here because I don't trust the government. Not for 1 second. I can trust myself, but I don't trust the government. So what is happening here is, I believe, okay, let me put it this way. I believe there will be night landing because we already have ILS. And that is 80% what, does the night landing to work. What we do not have is the airfield lightnings. Airfield lightnings are those, when you are up, you see various colors at the runway, you know, on the runways. These are the airfield lightnings, and these are the electricals that they are doing this week. So I would endeavor, or rather, we will endeavor on this channel to make sure that sometime this week, between this week and next week that we will bring more information and more facts as regards to the Enugu International Airport landing or night landing. So when we went out on the field, reason why we are showing this field, you can see PW over there. The reason why we're showing this field is sadly we found out that this Enugu International Airport has no taxiway. And that's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. And I must explain to us, pay attention. It's a tragedy that I found out that this airport doesn't have a taxiway. What does taxiway do? A taxiway helps when you have traffic. What it means is that this airport is done ab initio from day one that it's not going to have traffic. That's what it means. If you go to Heathrow, if you go to Lagos, if you go to Abuja, they all have taxiways. If an aircraft breaks down, because what it means, taxiway is like a dual carriage. One is where the plane lands. Anytime you fly through Lagos or Abuja, you see, when they land, they will go somewhere, turn, move away from that runway before they will now go to the tarmac so that other planes can be coming in as well. But by not having that here, what it means is a plane lands, it goes to the bottom, turns, and goes back before it goes to the tarmac and goes to the aero bridge. Okay? Where people, international flights, international flights are not supposed to go on the tarmac, they're supposed to go to the aero bridge and get into the terminal. So that's what's happening here. So what it means, commonsensical saying that they have constructed this airport not to have traffic. There was never any intention to let it compete with Abuja or Lagos. That's, you know, layman's the only way I can explain it to everyone watching me right now. And that I found sad because I made inquiries and I spoke to the people, the top management working at the Owerri International Airport. I found out, which they sent me message back because initially I didn't know until last weekend when I was researching on this. They found out that the Owerri Airport, or what they call Owerri International Airport, doesn't have doesn't have taxiway. It only has a runway. Enugu International only has runway as well. It hasn't got any taxiway. Because I was thinking that this money being spent was, again, the video you're watching, the reason why we have done that is to show us there is enough land. If they wanted to construct a taxiway, this is land, vacant land at the Enugu International Airport. You can see PW there. This is the terminal building there. So they could as well do another taxiway or do a taxiway so that this will be the real, when we say the real and authentic airport to the heartland of the Igbo nation. But hey, again, someone, when I mentioned that in a group, in a WhatsApp group, someone said, Maz, you too much worry about this airport. I said, listen, people, anything that is worth doing well, anything that is worth doing well. I cannot, because when my brothers and my sisters and when the one that called himself our son was there, that he didn't do it right, doesn't mean I will stop demanding for the right thing to be done. That is self-defeatist. So that is a defeatist argument. It doesn't make any sense. And someone said again to me, Maz, okay, let's leave it, let's manage it. I said, see, I think it's a poverty mentality that we must discard as a people to stop saying, let's manage. Manage what? For how long shall we keep managing? Our parents are all dead. Since their life, they've been managing. When are we going to live a life? I was telling somebody one time, I said, listen, this life, I probably will never drive a car again that is more than 5 years old. The reason is, this life has no duplicate. Enjoy your life for once. So at the airport implies, why can't we for once enjoy the life of humans? And the individual, pointed out that there was a time Port Harcourt International Airport was so bad, but people were using it and said, so you are now competing with failure. Port Harcourt International Airport at that point was the worst airport in the whole world, the worst airport canopy. So because it was that way, then my own should equally be that way. And I say no. And these are the things I say. I mean, I'm not trying to be this to anyone, but I'm saying these things are not right. It's not right. And part of these, you can see this. The only thing they have completed here, I must say, this is the fire assembly point. This is, when you hear fire alarm, when they do fire drill, they will come over here. That is the only thing. If you're coming into that airport, or rather, if you're driving out of Enugu International Airport, it's on your right. So that is the only thing I can tell you as of today, being the 10th of August 2020. The only thing that has been completed in that Enugu. I cannot say about the electricals inside because we didn't go inside, but because we assume in Nigerian context that it is finished. That's why they put paint on it. So that is the only thing that is been finished here. Okay, so you can see that here. Well, it's people say it's nicely done, but I don't want to say what I'm thinking because I look at these things that I'd say to myself, we can do better. We can honestly we can do better than all this nonsense. That will clap for people. When they do things like this. Anyway, on that note, people, let me call the caller that called me back before. I'm sorry I didn't pick your call because I was showing the slides here. So let me call back this caller. And if you want to call me, the time to call me is now. If you want to call me, the time to call me is now. I think the caller is from the United States, from the United Kingdom. I believe that's a +44 number. If you're still watching me now, I'm calling you back, or you can call back. Let's hear your contribution. So on that note, if there is no further contributions, what you can only do as well is you can give this video a like and give me a thumbs up. That's all, from your own parts. That's all you can do, or you can call and have this conversation. Okay, so the caller did not pick that call, so I'll give 2 more minutes. Okay. I have my favorite caller here, Uche. Uche is calling. Uche is calling me, I believe, from Ireland. Is it Ireland or Iceland? No, I don't. Uh-oh, what's happening? Okay, Uche M. If you can call me back, sorry, I don't know what's happening. I didn't see the call coming. So while you're doing that, oh, thank you. Smash the like button. Thank you very much. Okoye Okwi Mazi. I wish you always talk so much on roads and security than airport than profit few. Well, you see, you cannot, my brother. You can't. Okay, I'll address your question this way. Okwi said, "I wish you would also talk so much on road and security than airports that profit few class of individual, but road security affect." Um, Okay, I would address your question. Let me. Yeah, hello, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. You're speaking to Mazes Okay Live. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, Mazi is okay. It's good to speak to you.
Yes.
I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Okay.
My name is Tochukwu Okoye.
Oh, my name's Sake. You're welcome.
I didn't know your name is Tochukwu too.
Yes, that's my first name.
Oh, wow. That's great. Well, with regards to what is going on in Nigeria, like what you presented tonight, it's really, really serious. And we got to start thinking seriously what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to start thinking seriously what we're going to do, how we're going to defend ourselves, how we're going to defend our loved ones. Because we cannot be taken unawares by these people. self-defense.
Okay.
We have the right to self-defense.
Yes.
So we're not going to be faulted for wanting to defend ourselves. America has already warned that these people are coming. And there's another guy that spoke today. My brother sent me a video of some professor that spoke.
Yeah, Dr.
You know,
Melafi Obidaya. I played his video. That's his video formed the basis of my conversation this evening.
Yes, I was watching that video, and the man was serious about what he was saying. So we better take these warnings seriously, not to just see it as one of those things, because they are actually encroaching on our space for some time now. Although we have been sort of, playing cat and mouse with them, but we shouldn't be doing that with our security. This is where everything lies. Security is the first thing every human being is entitled to, because without your life, you have nothing.
Yes.
These people are threatening our existence. The existence as a people is on the line. So we got to start thinking seriously about what we're going to do to defend ourselves.
Yeah, thank you very much for your Tochukwu, thank you very much for your contribution. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So as Tochukwu said now, Uche, you can call back now. The line is free. But as Tochukwu said now, and that's the essence of what I said. You know, when you talk about self-defense, we cannot be as lawless as they are. So we can defend ourselves, and we must defend ourselves because it's our inalienable right to defend ourselves and to defend our properties and our loved ones. But doing that within the ambit of the law, because the security apparatchik in the system has failed. If were the Nigerian police working right the way it ought to work, we wouldn't have any need to talk about vigilante services. The talk about vigilante services is the talk of because the coercive power of the state has failed abysmally. That's why we have this talk about vigilante services. And what we are now doing is to talk about how we will use the instrumentality of law to back ourselves up in order to protect ourselves. Yeah, Uche, good evening, good evening, my brother.
Yeah, good evening, Mazi. Good to hear from you.
Yes, good evening.
I watched the interview you had with, what's it called? Was it Malakai also?
Okay.
The guy, like the other caller said, I think.
Sorry, hold on now. Sorry, hold on. Emeka Diokba, I think I've typed the number on the screen. You can also pick the number from there. The number is +234 708 004 2206. Uche, go ahead.
Okay. I said we the Southerners should be really careful and open our eyes, because they said in Igbo, you learn what kind of joke. And I think it's really high time that we protect ourselves. And coming to the airport issue, I totally agree with you, and I'm betting with you against anyone who says otherwise that the airport will be ready. So, for my own conclusion, I think the airport will not be ready. So I'm ready to bet 2 gallons of wine, wood wine, anybody who says otherwise. So, because seeing the pictures and everything.
It would only be the APC that probably will bet with me on that one, because they are the ones trending the pictures that is being done.
Picture, I think from that Port Harcourt airport.
No, it wasn't even Port Harcourt. It was clearly written in Nandaziki where the picture, the front.
Okay. Because the way I've seen it, nothing is done. See the open gun that they made. It seems like they're joking. It seems like they're just playing with us, because the roads seems like something built in a rural area. It doesn't look So I think it's time they woke up and do the needful and build what is supposed to, both the taxiway he spoke about, they don't have anything there, and they have big space, empty land that they should build those things. Through your Twitter, let's see what's going to happen. That's few days from now. I think it's still awesome to see how this is.
Yes, that's why I would encourage anyone, apart from doing this, if you can follow me on Twitter as well.
I'm doing that.
For those of you not following me already, if you can follow me, I'll put my Twitter handle on the screen right away. That is at Mazezoke. So very simple. If you can follow me on Twitter, join that call that the right thing be done at the Enugu International Airport. Thank you very much, Uche. Once more, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I had a caller before who called in, but Uche was on the call. I think you're calling from India, or I don't know, whichever Southeast Asian country. That's a +60. Can you call back then, please? And then Mecca Diop, I think you've seen the number now. And the end point here is that I think M999. I don't know what kind of name is this. If you flip it upside down, it becomes 666W. So you're saying that talkers are keep talking. I don't know if you don't want to talk. If you don't want to have a conversation, then you can go and do whatever you think is the right thing to do. But please grant people who want to have conversation and share ideas on the best way they think it will be a civil way to address this matter, to go ahead and do so. Yeah, hello, Mazezoke speaking. Yeah, hello, Maze. Yeah, can you speak up, please? You're a little bit down.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know what is wrong with
Go ahead, we can hear you.
ourselves. We need to. I don't know what is wrong with ourselves. We need to blame ourselves. We need to stand up and very seriously too.
Okay.
And whatever the Nigerian government is trying to force on us, certainly they don't mean well for the Biafrans, Eastern Igbo speaking Biafrans. Of course, all we are running in Nigeria is Alamajiri government, where anything you lay your hands on, you take, you occupy, it becomes yours. I don't know if you've lived in the north before. Hello?
Yes, I have. Canada also.
In the north before, you know how don't forget about that. I schooled in Zaria for 4 years, so I know what Alamajiri system is.
Okay,
When
so I know. Of course I know.
So whatever they're running, any person that lays his hands on anything in Nigeria, they are ruining us. Talk about securities. I've quarreled for my comments about bringing all these people. Again, why are these people talking down on security? The first thing any living man on earth does is to secure his life of his family, life of his neighbors, life of his well-wishers. We are not secured. You are speaking.
Yes.
It's okay. You are speaking.
No.
I hear you.
I'm listening to you. I'm all ears. On Tekanja Anolokun.
So all these things, I don't know why our senators, our House of Rep, cannot move en masse and stampede stampede the National Assembly. That they should work out and make that place ungovernable. Then we the masses can move ahead and give them the backup. Let them calm down, discuss this thing, and
listen, listen.
They have this Fulani mentality.
Listen, you can.
And you be in there trying to promote them. And
listen.
I'm quarreling you because you are doing a marvelous work. Before you know it, you take down. Okay, go ahead.
No, you see, when you talk about stampeding them, with which number are you going to stampede them? The whole of Southeast has only 15.
We can stampede them up.
Nah, you can't.
We
Listen.
can stampede them. We can raise 2-3 million. We can raise 2-3 million man march. Hausa people are not having fun. Kaduna people is close to Kaduna is close to Abuja. Benue is close to Abuja. If we move down that place, make some alliances, move down, hold down Asorok, and every other person we key in. When Nnamdi Kanu started, it was like for artisans, it was like for car drivers, it was like for truck pushers. But at the end of the day, you see, Obasanjo is a convert, even a whole lot of. I can't even hear you.
No, I'm not talking now. I'm listening. So I can't. You see, when you talk, I'm not talking. I'm listening because I want after you've finished. Then if I have to respond, then I respond. I mean, it's respect enough for me to keep quiet while you air your view. That's why you called. Anyway, so I've heard what you said. Then I can I can give others the chance, but I'll respond to you. So keep watching. So thank you very much. So to what my brother now said, what we have to bear in mind is he said about stampeding them. I was laughing because it's not possible to stampede them. You don't have the numbers. Now, I have restructured my head as long as Nigeria is concerned. Put it that way. I have departed from Nigeria somehow with my head. I am not interested in flying out of Nigeria to London to anywhere from Lagos or Abuja. That's why I want to fly out from the Igbo nation and fly into the Igbo nation. Now, and that's the reason why we need to now demand the things we have to demand. In the same vein, yes, there are things our senators are not saying in Abuja. But those things they are not saying in Abuja, which one is weightier? The ones we are not doing at home. Because they can say anything in Abuja and they'll stay in Abuja. But what makes the impact